Hi, everybody, and hi and good morning to my beautiful co host, all the way from Arizona.
Hello.
Beautiful as usual. And hello, everybody else around the world. And I'm Anne coming live to you from Greece. Rhodes, actually, in Greece. So we are both, Arizona and Greece are on the same length. I
Yeah,
don't
on
know
this
what it's called.
meridian.
Yeah,
Yeah, this.
Meridian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Arizona is a desert and Rhodes is an island. So there are some differences
Yeah.
in climate, to be honest.
Yes.
Uh, but flowers and stuff and trees and everything, we basically have the same.
Yes, we
Basically,
do.
yes, we do. So, welcome, beloved ones, to the Cosmic Sis-Star Show with Corinne and Anne. Tonight, we will step into the current, standing firm in the river of life. And I've been walking my talk this week. You're probably going to hear Miss Green saying the same. So, standing firm in the river of life where waters move with purpose and the moment invites you to meet yourself more deeply than before. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
The current is rising. It calls you to stand in your truth, to root your presence in the flow, and to remember the strength that lives in your softness. Join us in the river where clarity awakens and the next version of you begins to shimmer into form. And
Mm.
today we have Wednesday, June 17th, in the middle of summer in this part of the world, right?
Yes.
And we have Thursday, June 18th in Australia, or down under, probably winter time over there, right?
Yep.
And again, we will talk about in the current, standing firm in the river of life. So our last show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sisters was last Wednesday, June 10th. And we talked about soul rewrites, rewriting the old stories with new truth. And it was actually a pre recorded oldie, a favorite of ours, because it's important to know that we can make choices all the time, right? So sometimes things are coming up. And as we said in the beginning, we do walk our talk for better or for worse, right? But it's
Exactly.
life. It's life. It happens. And so we are happy that we actually can have something to put up when we can't be on. But today we are live with you. So if you have any questions or anything, please write. We do go live on YouTube every Wednesday at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. And we stream the replay after the show at facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians. So let's take a soft breath together and arrive fully into this moment and dive deep into today's show. Always deep diving.
Oh, yes. It's the way we can really get in there and enjoy life. I find that when you go with the flow, when you feel the rhythm of that ebb and flow, you feel the balance and the synchronicity as that water embraces you, welcomes you, supports you, and even heals you. When we speak lovingly of the flow of water and its gentle movement, it always encourages to move and bend while feeling that steady support. And standing firm is is not rigid, otherwise you'd break. But standing firm as life flows past us, it makes changes. And sometimes we feel like we need to grip the bottom of the where we're standing with our toes and hold on with all our might, but we only need to readjust our footing, maybe shift our weight until we find a more solid place to stand. But this will give us new stability. Rather resist, but to be gentle. Shift your perception. I'm still shifting here. Readjust our thinking to find your own truth.
Yes. And that is what this journey basically is about, right? Finding ourselves, the very core within. And there are so many ways of reaching there and so many things we can encounter on our path. So there comes a moment in every awakening journey when the river of life begins to move with a new kind of intensity, not as chaos, not as punishment, not as a sign that something has gone wrong, even though we have a tendency, a human tendency, to perceive it in that manner, right?
Yep.
But as a living invitation to meet ourselves more deeply. This is the current we speak of today. So the living, breathing, pulsing flow that carries us forward even when we think we are standing still. And I want to say a few things about that, because we tend to say two things. One is that we always say to people, go with the flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that when we feel as human beings that we have a standstill, we very commonly, not always, but commonly get into resistance, meaning that we don't want to be there. But there are things going on in the silence as well. So, guys, don't be afraid of the stillness. Sometimes we need to be there to listen within,
Yes.
right?
And we speak a lot about being in that stillness. And then it's as we are readjusting, like we spoke of in another podcast we had, the calm before the storm.
Yes.
And our life ebbs and flows, just like the water. And there are times when we need to have a steady footing but move with the water. And there's times when the water seems like it's stagnated. And rather than even resist that, say, okay, this is telling me to take time to, again, just be quiet within myself and not rush, 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 rush. And I'm being told that in a very dramatic way, that, especially because Arizona is literally, if you stood in front of an oven that was 200 degrees and then opened the door, I kid you not, if you come from a place that's cool and you open your door, that hot air hits you as if you're standing in front of an oven. That's how hot it is here. Just pulls the moisture out. And I don't do heat real well, um, but I keep trying to go against the flow. And uh, and literally later on in the show, I will tell you how I literally, hit concrete and it said, you're not going to go any further. But that's a little later. But our truth is not someone else's ideas, our philosophies, belief systems, or even the preaching of others. It is, however, the clearing of debris and garbage from our own energy system, as we've spoken about before.
Yes.
Clearing a path so that river of life may flow smoothly with strength and purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to stand firm in the river of life is not to resist its movement, right? It
No.
is to root into the truth of who we are while allowing, you love that word, I know that,
I do
the
love that word.
waters, allowing the waters to reshape us, because that's what's going to happen. And a Greek philosopher very bright one, right? They have a lot of them.
I love them.
Once said something, I don't know the exact wording, and I don't know who it is. I don't remember. I know, but I don't remember. But this philosopher said you cannot cross the river twice because it's going to be changed. It's in
Exactly.
constant movement. So, standing firm in the river of life is to trust that the river knows where it's going, even when we cannot see around the bend. It is to remember that the current is not outside of us, it is us. We are the current. It is our own evolution calling us into alignment. Many
That
people believe that standing firm means tightening, bracing, or holding on, but firmness in the spiritual sense is softness. It is presence. It is the willingness to stay awake in the moment instead of drifting into old patterns. When the current becomes strong, the mind wants to cling to the familiar. The heart, however, knows that the familiar is too small for who we are becoming.
beautiful. That that is so perfectly said, because to limit where we are now with where we are becoming, and it's not a matter of changing us. It is a come it is again looking within and seeing what magnificent possibilities that we really are,
Yes,
and discarding other people's limitations on us, and
yes,
finding that limitlessness within ourselves. And that's what all of this is so much about. And to achieve our ability to stand firm in our truths and go with the flow, follow that divine synchronicity to our peace, our voice, and our authentic self.
yes. You know, in the river of life, firmness is not rigidity. I can't say the word. Did I say it correct?
Perfectly,
Okay.
perfectly.
It is clarity. It is the quiet knowing that we are safe even when everything is shifting. And sometimes, yes, things have a tendency to just all of a sudden, within a second, changing sometimes. Other times it takes a little bit longer, and we are grateful for that.
Yes.
It is the inner stability that comes from listening to the deeper voice within, the one that speaks beneath the noise of fear and the echoes of old stories. The voice does not shout, it does not demand, it simply reminds us that we are held and we are always safe. So if we have an idea that I'm not really safe because I don't have control over things. That is stepping into fear. That is holding on. That's not allowing the river of life to move forward. And I have another way of expressing, I call it energy in motion. It's the same thing
Hmm.
because energy does never ever stand still. Never. It's in constant movement.
Yes. The things that we think that are solid are not solid. Every atom in a table or a chair is changing, changing,
Yes.
changing, changing. But it's holding to its truths as it is incorporating the different things. And another thing about that beautiful current, it is constantly feeding us more information, allowing us to be nurtured and to grow, and to look at different dimensions of ourselves, as opposed to if we were standing in a stagnant pool of water, rooted firmly, we wouldn't have that opportunity to expand our being here. And we came to this earth, we came to Gaia just to
Yes.
have this grand experience. And it
Yes.
comes with a myriad of experiences. Some go up and some go
Go
down.
down.
So this river we're standing in, it brings both smooth and choppy currents. And being able to move with that flow and adjust our thinking, our attitudes, and our feelings can make our journey more enjoyable.
Yes. And something that I say when I talk to people is that when we do some kind of change, it may be mindset, it may be something very tiny, small, or it may be something very, very big, right?
Hmm.
That means that we are stirring around the energies.
Yeah.
Um, and that means that we are going to encounter all of it. It doesn't mean that everything is going to feel pleasant, but in that moment, the blessing is that all those energies that I see, I can pick and choose again. And I can
Yes.
say, I keep that one. I release the other one because I don't want that anymore. So
Yeah.
it's not coming to us as a punishment. It's coming to us as something like a heads up
Yeah.
that you are able to make new choices, right? So there is a sacred intelligence in the current. It brings the right people, the right lessons. I'm laughing now. The right opportunities at the exact moment we are ready for them. Even even
Even
the
when they
challenges are perfectly timed. They are not obstacles, but the initiations. they, I'm sorry, they strengthen our roots, deepen our wisdom, and expand our capacity to love.
I heard the words, but I apologize because when you said that, and you know my story, and I wanted to say when you land flat on your face, and it's
Yes,
uh, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Oh, okay. All right. It might be, we haven't lost it really, but uh, I'm very tenacious. That is also translated as stubborn. And in Arizona, you have to, when you're working with nature, you have to get things in the ground before this intense heat comes. And so I've been pushing and pushing and pushing, and I've had a couple of little slowdowns. I got a new knee, so that took me a little while to get over, and so on and so forth. And but I was determined to get finished with this one project. And I'm on a concrete patio, and I am walking, not running, but just walking fast. And there is a hose that is kind of stationary that's laying
Oh,
across the sidewalk. And miraculously, how I did this, I had to have had a director say this is what's going to happen because both feet hit it at exactly the same time. I'm 5'2", and I'm walking, and I literally fell flat on my face on the concrete. Now there was a little raised flower bed that caught my shoulder, and that kept me from just splatting. It kind of sheltered me, and then, but when I'm laying down and my face is on the ground, facing the concrete, both arms are laying beside me, and I'm saying to this friend that's helping me, Steve, I'm down. I'm down. And I mean, it was as if I had been ignoring all the signs to slow down and go with the flow. And I decided to be stubborn and push what I wanted to get done. And the universe said, you need to slow down. Now, what we were laughing about is for someone 5'2" to literally be picked up and dropped flat on their face, and especially because I'm a little higher on the age ladder, um, for me to come away with a little tiny yellow bruise on my shoulder. Yes, I've had a lot of pain when I move it and stuff like that, but everything else is intact. And so I'm laying face down, and Steve wants to pick. I said, "Don't pick me up, Steve. Let me turn." And I turned over, and I sat up, and I called 911, and I said, "Please don't hurry because I'm okay, but you got to send someone over here to help me stand up." Because of course I'm dealing with the knee. But the irony is that other than the shoulder being a little moved, and by the way, the miracle was that the flower bed that I hit had some bricks that weren't concreted in, so they gave way, and you can see the where my shoulder impacted, and they moved out of the way to just kind of let me go down like in slow motion. And the reason I'm laughing is because one of the things that I learned from this is that in this lifetime, I've lived so many lifetimes that I'm almost like a child going to Disneyland. Ooh, this is a new ride we're going to go on. Look, let's try this. And I am supported by the universe, and it says, well, we're not going to splat you like a pancake, but we're definitely going to slow you down. And I got the message. But when you said what you did, that's I couldn't help but just I kept wanting to say, and she fell flat on her face. But
Yeah. And
yes,
I fully understand that. And we're not laughing because it's actually not nice when someone has.
no,
Uh,
but you're sharing my emotion. You're not laughing at me. We are laughing together, and
yes.
we are appreciating the fact that in all of this, uh, I was protected.
Yeah, you
And
were.
and this is what I told everybody at meditation last night. When something, an obstacle or something happens in your life situation, are you going to look at it like, how am I going to get out of this? Why is this happening to me? What is going on? Or changing your perspective and saying, okay, what do I need to take home from this? I need
Yeah.
to take home, slow it down, and and rather than fighting the current, you kind of go with it and you say, okay, well, this is where it's leading me. It says I need to go this direction now and not be going that direction. And
Yes.
I definitely,
And we are so grateful that you didn't hurt yourself worse, right?
oh,
It seems to me that like that you are made of better material than I am. I'm just kidding again.
no. I mean, fortunately, maybe the bones don't break, but the ligaments and the tendons that hold everything together get stretched where they are not really happy. So I'm not invincible. I'm just and sometimes if you break a bone, it's easier because you heal faster because the bone heals rather than the soft tissue. But um, I'm having this earthly experience, and I decided that
You decided to have that experience.
I guess, and I just wish I'd had it on tape because no one would believe that
No. And
that.
the thing when stuff happens is that it goes so fast that your mind can't really catch up until it's too late.
Yep, yep. But anyway, it was
I was laughing too with you But
Yes,
also I remembered my broken knee, my leg.
exactly, exactly. We both have a little bit of that stubborn tenacity in our, you know.
But a very good thing, just as you said, I phrase it maybe a little bit different. So I started at that time 2 years ago to say, I do what I can with what I currently have, and I'm moving forward and looking forward. That's
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
And so when we say to our audience that we walk the walk and we talk the talk, um, doesn't mean that you have to go out and face plant just to realize that you're walking the walk. You can do it in much more gentle ways.
Yes, you can.
Uh, but
So when we stand firm in the river, we stop trying to control the flow. And when things happen, right, we are faced with a situation where we just need to stop control because we can't do anything. We can't change that, right? It's our
exactly.
response to it. So we stop trying to swim upstream. We stop trying to be who we once were.
Oh,
Instead, we become participants in our own unfolding. We become co creators with life itself.
yeah.
We learn to move with grace, even when the waters rise. We learn to trust the timing, even when it feels unfamiliar. That's a very diplomatic way of stating it, right? We
Yes.
learn to surrender without losing ourselves. So you didn't lose yourself in this experience. No,
No.
that's not going to happen.
No. It's we find that um, it gives you an opportunity to maybe uh, re-examine where you're going and what you want to really accomplish, and uh, and also maybe what is going to be your next step, and uh, and like I
Yes.
said, it comes to you sometimes gently and sometimes right in your
With,
face.
with a bang.
But when you have truth within yourself, and this is what starting to trust your truth and your authentic self, and not sending blame here or sending blame there, and saying, okay, what is the universe trying to prepare me for, or tell me what needs to be done, but not as punishment, but
No.
the gentle little guidances that I had, the weather getting hotter, and having, I was ignoring those because I can get it done. And they
Yeah.
said, well, you know, stop,
And
slow down.
it's interesting that you say that because it was the same for me. I had this sense that I'm probably not going to sit on that bike and do that small trip. It was not. It was 6 kilometers, right? Nothing. But I did it anyway. And I had this understanding and sense that it doesn't feel really right to do it, but I did it anyway. My stubbornness, my tenacity, right?
Yeah,
But on another note, when things happen the way they do, there's no gain in punishing yourself because we always have choices. And sometimes we make a choice. I did have a couple of hours in the sun by the sea that day. And maybe I gave a few other people some experiences too, like
uh-huh.
the three doctors that met me on, they
Yeah,
came right away when I
yeah.
fell, right?
Exactly.
And being at the hospital and having the experience of sitting in a wheelchair for 4 months, and that was a new one for me actually, gives you perspective for how it is for people that are sitting in it for a lifetime, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And um, I think you and I are kind of the warriors that um, give us a little bit of the experience so we can have a greater understanding. Just make it so we survive the experience, and we can laugh about it. Um,
Yeah.
but that's going with the flow. Yes, it slowed things down, and yes, I had to make some adjustments, and but from those adjustments, I have had the opportunity to be of assistance to other people. And I think when I decided to take on this mission again, I said, I want to be authentic enough that I can relate some of these experiences with people. I don't have to experience the horrors of, of the atrocities that do go on, but I have enough physical experience that I can have a lot more compassion and a lot more empathy for when a person is getting older and when they are now using, I don't call it a walker, I call it my speeder. And I don't need it all the time, but if I really want to get things accomplished and get it done with with tenacity, it's there. It's there for the support. So I don't fight it. I go, okay, well, this is a new piece of equipment, and how can I use it? Well, I can get bricks on it. I can put concrete on it. I,
You can
I
do
can
a
make
lot
it.
of things. Yeah.
Yes. So it has given me a greater understanding, and I'm actually writing some information about the process of finding new ways to be active when your regular activities are being kind of guided a different direction. Did I say that diplomatically? You know,
You said that beautifully.
my mother used to say, people do not get old. There are no golden years. It is the rust and repair years. And
Yeah. And I say it in this manner. I don't have a thing with age at all. It's not a problem for me. I wouldn't like to go back to 20 because now we have so much experience that we
exactly,
can lean on, and
exactly.
that's beautiful. But I say I am maturing,
Yeah,
right?
you know,
So,
and
um,
we do the best with what we've got available, and the interesting thing is that you and I take these little opportunities that we have, and we create amazing accomplishments with
yeah,
them. And it's amazing how many people have watched what I do and say, "How do you do that at your age and with your limited capacities?" And I said, "Because I will." I
yeah,
will.
and
I
that,
will figure it. It may not be the way I normally do it, but I'm going to get it done.
yeah, and that's kind of the essence of things, right? And what we're talking about today, because
Yes,
there's always a way, and sometimes we need to do it in a different way. For
exactly.
me, in a wheelchair, I had to figure out, it took me a week to figure out small stuff like how to conquer my door, how to conquer the elevator in and out by myself.
Exactly.
I didn't want help, and the door out to the street, right? So,
Yeah.
but I learned and I understood. Sometimes you have to go forward, other times you have to go backwards. But you understand and you can see. And I was an expert by the end of the 4 months. I can tell you that. But
Yeah.
it's yeah, with a walker, you can take a lot of things with you. I had
Yeah.
to use a walker too, and sometimes if I'm going for a long way, yeah, I need that because I need to sit down a little bit still. Um, my knees. I fixed my second knee because I was leaning on that knee for that period of time, 6 months or
Yeah.
something, right?
Right.
But anyway, um, there's always a way of doing things, and we just need to invent and create the new way that suits us. That's the
Well,
important thing.
I have completely reinvented the apparatus that has wheels on it that I use. It is not designed to be kind to the upper body. So I have changed it, and I have literally put little things on because I hear people complaining, and I'm going, okay, how can I engineer this? How can I make it better? And so I'm a real advocate now for what really works for someone that has a physical challenge and what does not. And I am protesting some of the things that they're doing because somebody that has never had to overcome something has no opinion. They're going by science. Well, this would work. No, no, you have to have experience. And I think that's why when we're standing in this river and we're enjoying what's going on, and
Yes.
we have the different things. Maybe we see a big log that's coming down the river and we have to kind of move out of its way. Maybe we're seeing new little fishies and we're enjoying the joy of seeing them playing. All of this is that life experience, and being
Yes.
able to maybe shift a little bit, maybe move your feet a little bit, maybe take a step upstream, maybe take a stream downstream. But that's what the experience is the adaptability, staying true to yourself, but also making the shifts so you can absorb more information. And the wonderful information that is flowing down this river, just bathing over us. And if we are in that receptive mood, and sometimes in the silence, is
Yes.
when we are fed these incredible information about the evolution of our own selves. And yeah, it's an adventure.
It is. And you could say that this is the heart of our conversation today, right? So,
Yes,
the remembrance that standing firm is not about force, it's about alignment. It is about choosing presence over panic, truth over illusion, and expansion over contraction. It is about letting the river carry us into the next version of ourselves with openness and courage. Life is not asking us to be perfect because, as you love to say, we are perfectly imperfect.
that's right.
Life is asking us to be present. It is asking us to stay in the current instead of climbing onto the shore of old identities. It's asking us to trust that we are capable of navigating whatever arises, and we are. We
Yes.
always have been.
And we always will when you touch that authentic self and stay in your truths, not the truths of others, but find that uniqueness about yourself. And each one of us, and I repeat this often, we are so important to the fabric of life and the fabric of evolution that we need to find our uniqueness. We don't want to be the same as something else because we can't fill that space. And I one time gave a talk to teenage girls, and at that time, everybody was wearing goth because that was the in thing. And I started out, and I had a little cactus with me, and I had a little bonsai. And I said, in nature, the bonsai does not try to be like a cactus, and the cactus does not try to be like the bonsai. They try to be the best that they can be within themselves. So, copying somebody else's version of what is in vogue is not being authentic. You stand out when you are different from the people that are all trying to be the same. And
Yes.
that's what when we're talking with you, find who you are, your uniqueness, your truth. And
Yes.
and then when you do go with the flow, and if the water moves you, and if it says we need to move downstream a little bit more, there's no resistance, because you go, oh, okay, what new adventure, you know?
Yeah. And when we let go of control, we are open to encounter many things, also many, many, many blessings that we may not um, encounter because we are trying to hold on to something, right? So
Exactly.
in the current, we discover our strength. In the current, we discover our softness. In the current, we discover that we are not separate from the flow. We are the flow. We are the river. We are the ones who choose how we meet each moment. We choose.
Yes.
And when we choose to stand firm in our truth, the river becomes not something to survive, but something to celebrate.
Yes. Yes.
You agree?
And to celebrate, to appreciate, and to realize in gratitude that all of these things are giving us an opportunity to better prepare ourselves for the magnificent adventures that we're going to continue having.
Exactly. And it brings curiosity because when I release the urge to hold on to things and have control of things, that means that there's an openness and I let the energies work for me instead of trying to control them, which is not going to be very conducive, to be honest. That's not going to
Yes,
be, um, when we hold on to the energies, we tend to be stuck in a place where we don't want to be
right.
and in resistance, right? How do you feel about the hot seat?
Yeah, it's getting a little warm over here. I just, every time, I kind of know they're coming, but then I get involved in the conversation, and then I go, no, and I, yeah. And I do not
Maybe,
go
maybe
and
I'm
look at
going
them.
to maybe I'm going to pass through this time, right? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, maybe it's just going to go around me this time. Okay, come on.
Come on.
Let's
First
go.
question, and I want to say to everybody, and we always say this, as we explore this theme for today, we have a few reflections that will help us and everybody feel into the shift, right? So
Yeah.
these reflections are, I ask them to Miss Corrine, sometimes she's going to throw them back at me, but they're also for all of you watching and listening. So you
Yes.
can um, go and find your answers for yourself, right? So first
Yes.
question, what does it
Okay.
mean to stand what does it mean to stand firm when life's river feels fast and unpredictable?
Um, I would say that in the times when I have really been faced with um, the rapidness of how life comes at you, that finding my inner stillness and finding something that fills me with joy while I am dealing with all the other stuff, and taking that little moment to step out of the current, dry off for a minute, compose myself, take a breath, and then step back into the water. And it's very difficult to do, and it's one of the things that I always um, give this information to people that are going through really big crises, like this one client of mine who's both of her little girls have been diagnosed with a situation that causes lesions on the brain. The 6-year-old
Oh,
already has had her first brain surgery. The 2-year-old is preparing for them to start working on this. And you're so in it that you forget that in order to be of service to your children and your family, you need to first be of service to you. And take that moment, just step away and find that quiet space within you for just moments or minutes. But remember, even in an airplane, they say put the oxygen on yourself first before you help the others.
yes,
And taking that little bit of moment allows you to be able to stay firm as this river is moving by you.
yes. Beautifully said. Thank you. And second question, how can we tell the difference between resisting the flow and anchoring in truth?
Oh, you go to the incredible closet of questions that are I the Greek the Stoic Greek philosophers would enjoy your questions. Okay.
They are probably inspiring me.
Yeah, they really are. Okay. When you're resisting the flow, in my opinion, things become harder. You're unable to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You everything becomes a huge effort. And the difference is that when you are anchoring in the truth of who you are, it gives you it with me I can feel the love within my soul that just kind of wraps me up and says, you're going to be okay. We got you. You know, when I decided to experience cement coming up straight in my face, there was a calmness that came over me that I cannot explain. There was no fear. There was no anticipating what this pile was going to look like when I hit. I was sheltered and protected, yes, from the universe, but my own self-love.
Yes.
It was like, I wonder if I bounced. That would be interesting. I would love to see a video. Uh, but what I'm saying, there is a calmness, and anybody that has gone through traumatic situations, and at that moment of when it seems like everything is going to implode and you're going to be, just part of the explosion, they describe a peace that comes over them. And it
Yeah.
is so quick and so instantaneous, and it is so fleeting. But it's like, and then you're able to step in. But I think in my situation, when I'm in that truth of why I came here, what I'm doing, and it's not a mental thought. It's just I went to that safe place, and I was able to handle what was coming next.
Yeah.
And but taking the time to do that when
That's
it's
beautifully
important.
said. Because, as we said, when we are in resistance, um, we feel it's a feeling within that we are in a place
Yeah,
where everything is really, really bad. And we cannot really change it. And I can relate to what you say because I managed my thing when I broke my leg kind of in the same way. I was maybe a day or two in a little bit of resistance. This is going to pass very quickly. I remember saying I'm out of from the hospital in a couple of days, but that
Yeah.
wasn't days, you know. But I took care of the situation because as you say, I said to myself, this is where I am. And this goes for any kind of situation, right? This
Yeah.
is how things are right now. The best way is to just accept this is how it is right now. Doesn't mean I want to stay there forever, right?
Correct.
So acceptance doesn't mean that I say that I want to be in this particular place for a very long time. It's temporary. Everything is actually temporary because everything changes. Even when we lose a loved one, right?
Yes.
Uh, we that very moment when we get the message uh, and when we are living it, that's only a timestamp. I don't mean to sound horrible when I say that, right?
No,
But
but that's the truth.
we're going to manage whatever comes, and it can feel like when you lose someone. My first really shocking loss was when I was 19, 20, when I I lost my boyfriend. We were together for 2.5 years, and he
Yeah.
just died, and he was 21. And it didn't make sense anything. It's like, you pull a curtain and the world is still functioning, right? But you can't really understand why things go on as they do. But the world keeps on moving and the energies keeps on moving. And you're never going to forget. But time does heal because we get a different understanding. And that's my trigger for starting to dig within. There's more to this. I know there's more to this.
Yes.
So that's how that. But to understand, just going to finish the question, how truth is, yes, when we accept the current situation, the current moment, we don't need to say to ourselves, I'm going to accept this and this is going to be going on forever. No, it means accepting that moment in time, that hour, that day, right? And then take it from there. So, moving on to the third question.
Whew.
What helps you stay centered when emotions or energies swirl around you?
Oh, um, sometimes I have to admit that I have to let a little steam off first, and I say the appropriate words for the situation. But then it's like the steam kettle. You let it out, and then you go, okay, that's not going to accomplish anything. So let's go back into that quiet space. And like I said, anchoring in my truth, and being perfectly inhuman and perfectly imperfect. That's okay because you're not going to stay in that direction. You're going to go, and then you're going to go,
Yes.
and that makes the difference because you there again you make a choice. You're at that crisis and you go, okay, this is not going to work. This isn't going to be the solution. So I need to step into my truth and then I need to see it from a different angle. And
Yes. Um, yeah, I basically handle that situation the same as you. I let the steam come out and I do say a few words pick very
Yes.
carefully for the moment, not very nice ones always. But we come here with all our senses. We have all our senses. So we're not supposed to build up the steam. Let it out. It's
Yeah.
fully human, natural, and even spiritual, right? Let
Yes.
it out, but don't get stuck in those feelings, because
Yeah.
those are the ones probably with anger, irritation, swearing, things of that nature. Get it out of your system, and then uh, my way of doing, I keep on doing it until it feels like maybe I can't continue this right now. For instance, I had something technical coming. By the way, congratulations, everybody. We are in the 29th of June. We are coming into Mercury retrograde, and it usually starts a
Oh,
little bit
yay.
early for me and probably for you, Corinne.
Yeah.
Until I think that's going to go on until 23rd of July. So
Mm.
happy month with Mercury retrograde, right? Beautiful. But anyway, when I feel that no matter what I do, no matter how stubborn I'm going to be, this is not the moments I detach from it. I do something else, maybe for an hour or maybe for a day or whatever it takes for me. When it feels right, I reapproach what I'm
Yep.
doing.
Yeah.
So that's how I manage those things. Because there's no way in fighting energies, and we can talk about that too. I used to try to fight Mercury retrograde, and I'm a Gemini, so Mercury is my planet. It's a war planet, right? So it makes
Yeah.
sense, a lot of things. Um, but like every energy, it has a polarity, and the polarity is that it's an introvert energy. You can use it to look within. It's excellent for looking within.
Yes.
And don't hesitate for conversations, communication, and stuff of that nature, which Mercury does affect communication and technical stuff, right? So I'm not surprised with my cloud issue.
Yeah.
And we just need to approach it differently. So if I'm going to have very serious conversations that are important, yeah, maybe I need to talk in a way and make sure that what I say is received in the way I intended, so there are no misunderstandings. That's a way of coming through it. Or
Yes.
if I can push it away a little bit, but sometimes we can't, right? But it's no energy to be afraid of. Like you can prepare yourself with technical stuff. You can make sure that restart, reboot your phone, reboot your computer, things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be fine. So, fourth question.
Oh, here it comes.
In what ways does surrender strengthen rather than weaken us?
Ah. Okay. When you resist something and you're fighting against it with all of your might, that force is coming back at you with the same intensity. That's a law of physics. However, when you surrender and you kind of take that moment to pause, the grip that the situation has on you will loosen. And then you will be able to step back and you will be able to be stronger in what you do because you're coming from a different angle. Now, interestingly enough, in self defense and martial laws, what they teach you is to know when to have that surrender, especially in the self defense class that I have taken, where if you're being held tightly by someone, instead of pushing and pushing because they're just going to get tighter. When you just let your body go limp, they have to change their grip and they have to readjust. When we surrender for that moment, the grip around us loosens, and then we
Yes.
have a different perspective of how to deal with it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes, and true. So, how can we remind ourselves that the current itself is guiding our evolution? Simple questions, right?
Oh, I love those Greek philosophers, and I literally do. I have several of their books, the Stoic writings, and I read them quite a bit. Um, how can we remind ourselves? I keep going back to the more authentic you become and the more trust you have in your own self and being able to discern whether it is your information or someone else's information, I think that's what allows you to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though you don't. When I first started this uh, awareness, my spiritual journey, and I would ask, I call them my crew, and I would say, when are you going to send me the handbook? Uh, you know, and why are you starting with me at this ripe old age instead of why didn't you start 20 years ago? And finally, after asking all these questions and being persistent with it, I realized that surrendering and allowing the process to unfold was part of the experiences that I needed to have in order to allow me to be able to be part
Sorry.
of this evolution. And that's exactly what it is, because I may evolve a little bit here, but it's going to take someone else to evolve a little bit here before the picture becomes clean and clear.
Yes.
So if you just
Sorry.
allow each of your own little bits of pieces coming to you and trust, I think you're going to find that the next time that you have a uh, is this or is this not, it's going to be clearer because you've cleared away doubt, fear, anticipation, and all of these things. But you needed to be able to clear those before you could see the end picture. And those take a lot of heavy duty cleaning sometimes.
Yeah, they do. So, we have come to the affirmation.
Aha.
So, as these reflections settle in our hearts, let's anchor the energy with a gentle affirmation. Do you want to read that?
Oh, you know, I love reading your affirmations. Okay. I stand in the living current of life with grace and strength. The river moves through me, not against me. Each breath anchors my truth. Each moment reveals my flow. I trust the rhythm of creation. I rise in harmony with its pulse. I am steady. I am fluid. I am free. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. So, is there anything else we want to talk about, or are we ready to wrap this up a little bit?
You know, the beauty of our conversations is that I find that when we touch on a topic, it is woven into the tapestry of something else that is going to be coming up later. And so
Yes.
it gets refreshed and renewed. And this is what's so exciting working with you, is that even though the subjects are related, the way that they're woven together, it's like, okay, now I'm going to use the color red and I'm going to sew with that for a little bit. Oh, well, I think I'm going to add blue over here. And we keep putting the little strands in, and gradually this beautiful tapestry is formed. And that's why it's so exciting each time when we see each other, uh, because I never know where the universe is going to direct me, and uh, I just kind of go, "Wow, this is interesting."
It's always interesting, and I do also love to do this with you because,
Yes,
yeah, we have a few things prepared for each and every show, but we also do it. You never know where the current conversation is going to bring you.
exactly.
And going with the flow, even with the conversation, that's important.
Yes,
And one could also call that inspired conversations. A
yeah,
little bit like when we get guidance and when we know what to say next. And sometimes someone else kind of just gives us something and we say, did I say that? Yes, I did.
yes. Well, that's the beauty, because I know both of us, especially when we're doing this, we are we are not speaking from us. We are Our words are being guided. Our words are being directed and protected and given in a way that hopefully different people can take little pieces out and use them to build their own tapestry. And I know when these words come to me, and I'll sit down to write, and it's like, whoa, I got to meet this person that's writing this. This is pretty profound. But I know that it's the inspiration of spirit, and
Yes.
I am so happy to be able to participate in this process.
So may these words echo softly within us as we close our circle today.
Yes,
You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 and youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth /streams and angelplaceonearth.com/ upcoming past. You can connect with Miss Corrine or myself, read articles, find out more at angelplaceonearth.com/ cosmic and find Corrine Mooney herself at liquidenergyhealing.com. And our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sis-Stars is going to be next Wednesday, June 24th, and we will talk about sacred shielding, the
oh
art
yeah,
of spiritual hygiene and protection. I think that goes hand in hand with this because that
yes,
is very important.
very very
And
important.
we do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe and every very early morning Thursday in Australia. So, as the river quiets and the light settles, we remember that standing firm is not resistance, it is presence. It is
Beautiful.
the grace of being fully here, rooted in truth, yet moving with the rhythm of life itself. Thank you for journeying with us in the current tonight. Until next time, may your flow be steady, your heart open, and your spirit shimmering in the pulse of creation. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we feel you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.